Oh, what can you do? Everton have lost 4-1 at Bramley Moore Stadium. It's Everton's second defeat at the stadium. The first one being the 2-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur a few weeks ago. And this one really does hurt. The Tottenham one, I think we were all deflated and frustrated that it was the set pieces that we conceded, the manner of the performance and the way Tottenham kind of just made it impossible for Everton to get going. Today, I think we were allowed to play football. We had a lot of the ball. We had a lot of moments where we could try and create something, but there was just so many things wrong with this. And I don't have all night, unfortunately. I've only got a very short window. Hopefully, Basil will be able to take over from me. But what I do want to say is too much of a mess. Too much of a mess. Where do we start? Let's start with Everton. Um, let's talk about the goals then. Let's talk about the goals. For the first goal, I mean, they're all becoming a bit of a blur, and I think anger is obviously, inside of me right now. Um, what was the first goal? The corner. I mean, it's like we know nothing against Tottenham Hotspur. You got Jake O'Brien, who's 6'6". Why is he at the back post? Why isn't he in the centre? You're the biggest lad. You should be able to out jump anyone. You are 6'6". Why have you got no one on the back post on the line, on the goal line to head it away? I don't know. Anyway, Newcastle get the goal, 1-0 up inside a minute, and it's just disgraceful to concede so early and from a cheap set piece. But Everton, I thought I'm going to give them some praise here, and for this little period where we came back into it at 1-0 down, we had a lot of the ball, a lot of possession. And just when Basil gives me the thumbs up, I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to very summarise the match and then let him kind of give his thoughts and comments. You you should have someone on the line. Everton reacted and tried to get back into the game, and I thought we did have a lot of possession, but a lot of the time the play is in front of Newcastle, whereas Newcastle kept trying to get the ball in behind us, playing in triangles, playing behind us, making us face our own goal. Everton were insistent on getting it wide to the likes of Jack Grealish to play in front of Newcastle and never running behind. I mean, in fairness, Dewsbury Hall does like to make those runs, and Tim tried, but it was never like passes to them. It was almost a little bit hopeless. Anyway, we didn't cause them the problems in that period, and we didn't have a shot on target in that period, despite Everton having all of the possession. And then 2-0, sucker punch, an unbelievable goal, because Everton have so many chances to clear the ball. Timur Abunin could get rid of it. The defenders could get rid of it. Instead, it falls to Lewis Miley. Tarkowski should be closing down. Instead, he backs off, allows the shot to come in, and it goes through Jordan Pickford's hands. Embarrassing and awful goalkeeping from Jordan Pickford. And just all of them so passive, so lacking awareness, so lacking intensity, so lacking desire. And they got what they deserved. 2-0 down, 3-0 down. Everton can't bounce back, trying to plug away to try and get into it. And it goes to 3-0. This time it's a corner. Everton have everyone up front. For some reason, we allow ourselves to get so exposed to the point where we've left ourselves with two people back, one of them being an absolute donkey in Timur Abunin and the other James Garner. I just think there was not enough security there before we started going chasing for the goal. We end up sucker punching Timur Abunin. Just get your body in front of it and fall over if you need to win the foul, or go back to the keeper, or clear your lines. Do something. Show some brain. Show some intelligence. This is your place to earn, and you don't. You get robbed. And then they go and Pickford is v1 because James Garner loses Walter Marder and he chips the goalie. And 3-0 down, there's not a chance we're getting back into this. You think, what is going on? And we go and concede a fucking fourth goal. You are joking me. A fourth goal. This is a ball into the box. Jake O'Brien could head it away. He's 6'6", but jumps 5'2". For some reason, doesn't clear his lines. Ball comes back out. They have a second bite of the cherry. And for some reason, Charlie Alcaraz is the one at the back post and he loses his header. Why would he be left back? Why would he be the one there? Get someone in the back post who can head a ball. Then, Tierno Barry, Everton finally get a goal. It's an accidental handball. There's absolutely nothing in it. He doesn't even know where the ball is. It sort of hits his elbow or sort of hits his armpit. It's never a handball for me. But anyway, he gets a lucky goal and it's ruled out before Dewsbury Hall finally gets the goal. And at that point, I'd had enough and turned off. And at this point, too much to say, and I'm going to bring in Basil, who will take over from me because I am David. I am at work, so that was just a 5 minute summarise to kind of set you up with some stuff to talk about. And I'm so pissed off with them. At the same time, though, there was some effort, there was some spirit at times, there was some trying. But the basics: if you don't clear your lines, if you don't get rid of the ball, if you don't stop the cross, if you don't win your headers, if you don't have shots on targets, there's nothing you can do. And over to you, Dave.
Well, I don't know if it's going to work if you disappear because I'm not logged into this.
I'll
So,
I'll I'll be able to turn it off when you. Oh, why aren't you logged in? Do you want to come back in a second? I'll give you a code.
because I'm on my phone,
I'll give you a code. I'll give you a code. Go on.
I'm wait.
Yeah. So, pain is what I'm feeling right now. I just need to get the code for David. So we're going to take a very short pause. Very short pause. Guys, we have to move on quick from this performance and get a win on Tuesday. But I can't see it. I can see the midfield being wide open, defenders not being able to defend space, defenders not winning their headers, midfielders too wide, people who can't carry the ball. I like what they're saying about Olivier Glasner. David, I'm going to leave you with the comments and your thoughts. I do have to go to work. You don't have to spend all day. You just need to get this off your chest, and I'll see you soon. Fuck off, Everton!
Well,
How
it
can they
looks like
do
we're
that? How can we go below Liverpool without them even playing?
pulling me out the stream instead of pulling himself out the stream. Oh, we've got possibly Stevie coming in as well.
Sorry, it's very dark. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah, not bad signal to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's an easy getaway today because
Yeah.
so many fans left. Uh, it's massively disappointing, deflating. At 60 minutes when we're 4-0 down, I desperately wanted to leave because it's so cold. But credit to everyone that did stay, and we also saw the Barry handball thingy and the Charlie Alcaraz shot against the bar. So your second half, I suppose, wasn't
You
quite as
got
painful,
you
but
got your value for money in the second half with
not
a
sure I got
1-1
any
draw.
value. Not sure I get any value. I mean, I draw parallels with the Spurs game, which was a painful game to watch.
I thought you might say that.
But this maybe was not quite as bad because at least we scored and we had a disallowed goal, and Newcastle were very good.
So you were at the game. Did you felt like it wasn't as bad as Spurs? I felt like I was probably more bored at Spurs, but we were self-destructive today with our defending.
Yeah, the defending was very poor. Thought Pickford, who's been amazing this season, should have probably done better for was it the second goal or lost count?
Yeah, second goal.
And it was so quiet, I could basically move into any seat. So I've been in different stands having a look around. But yeah, it was poor defending. I think that was the problem. But you could also say it was very good attacking.
Yeah, but just how can you go from Monday night to this? I mean, it's just night and day with the. It's just a very frustrating game, wasn't it?
Well, they put a lot of effort in on Monday, and it's not like we didn't give our effort today. I just think we came against the Newcastle side with a point to prove. Who were they basically lost all their away games, the last 4 away games, I think. And they got the early goal, and that kind of set the momentum for this game.
Yeah, that was really poor start. I don't know whether Everton didn't show Newcastle the respect that they perhaps needed to, in terms of knowing they hadn't really picked up results away from home and played that extra game in midweek. But so it was such a sluggish start, booting the ball downfield, losing a couple of balls. Next minute, they probably should have scored after 40 seconds, but it went out for a corner, and then they still didn't deal with the corner, and you're 1-0 down pretty much the start of the game with every mountain to climb at that point.
You fancy us to get back in the game though at 1-0? I'm thinking, this is going to end 1-1. I'm thinking we're getting back in the game, but there's the 30 minutes that followed where we did give them a good go, and but it looked like we'd run out of ideas. The ball kept dropping back to the centre backs who had to make the play, and it was challenging for us to find the breakthrough. But I did think it was going to come.
That's interesting. I mean, I didn't think we played that bad for about 10, 15 minutes after the goal. But unfortunately, like the sucker punch, that it was then 2-0 all of a sudden. And as you said, Pickford really should have saved that shot. It was pretty much straight at him. It's a bit of a bounce before it got to him, but he should be saving that. It's very, very poor goal to concede. And 2-0, that's hard. I mean, we did come back against Palace and scored 2 goals, but we were 1-0 down. This is a big ask, even with the rest of the game. With Newcastle camped back in the 4-5-1 formation, with Everton can't break them down at all. It was very painful at that point to watch.
Yeah, you could say that Eddie Howe had them tactically set up very well because they were able to keep their shape and they did nullify Everton's, attempts to stretch the play side to side. And in the end, I think the absence of having a quality striker really means that we just haven't got that through ball, or that option down the middle. Barry again ran the channels, did what he could do, but Newcastle are probably a better side than we possibly gave them credit for. Their league position was somewhat false going into this game, and their attacking play, especially down the flanks, they've not just got pace out wide, they got pace in the fullbacks, and they were exploiting maybe the dropping energy levels that Everton's had in this game, where maybe we are paying the price for playing with 10 men the other day. Although, this wasn't a bad performance. It was just a set of circumstances. Maybe it flattered Newcastle half time, 3-0 down. I mean, we weren't playing that bad. We weren't playing that badly.
Yeah, there was about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes where Everton played, I would say, arguably some of the best football they've played all season. At the interchanges with Garner and Dewsbury Hall and Grealish and little through balls and latching on, but really led to very, very little chance creation, shots, opportunities, and then punished for basically very lackluster defending, not being aggressive, leaving a man behind. Newcastle piling men forward. They would get 4, 5, 6 men. The fullbacks get them forward, just shoving people forward. We just couldn't deal with it. The overloads. Everton couldn't match the energy defensively, and really struggled with the pace of those wide men and fullbacks overloading. And I think it really showed Everton without Branthwaite, without Gay, without that a bit more solidity in midfield and a bit more pace at the back, really struggled to deal with it. And also meant we couldn't really play a different way to how we were playing, which is very sideways, backwards, waiting for the shape, not playing quick enough. We need to get more pace in this team. We need the fullbacks, but we know that we need more probably another defensive midfielder, because even Timur Bunum and Roll are probably not there to really come in and play reliably in the place of Garner or Garner.
Yeah, I mean, a lot was talk in the stadium about Urban. I mean, I called him out in the preview last night as an obvious straightforward swap for Ghana, but I think tonight it proved that maybe Ghana does a bigger role than what we give him credit for, sweeping and mopping up, because we had a lot of holes that we were allowing Newcastle to work in pockets. And the closing down wasn't maybe as good as in other games. It was all those second balls that we weren't winning, especially in the first half. So I think that Burnham had his work cut out, and he seems to have had a better game when he's come off the bench. There is that aspect of like, yeah, we maybe do need another holding midfield, but you could, I suppose, put Dewsbury Hall back into a more position and start shuffling around players a bit. I mean, you've got Garner there as well. It depends on who you're playing, and obviously with the Africa Cup of Nations coming up, that is going to make a big impact on our squad. But it will also affect other teams in the league. So it probably will be neutralised, I think. And Dial probably be missed, but he's not had his best couple of games. He's not had much to feed off really in the last couple of games. I think.
Yes, Dewsbury Hall's the one who's really looking the most threat out of the three currently. Yeah, and Everton 2-0 up, 2-0 down, and I still felt a little bit like we could get back in the game, weirdly. But 3-0 was that was it, wasn't it? Really, game over, and just before half time, and it kind of embarrassingly threw ball, and then he chipped it over the keeper. I mean, me and Ryan highlighted it in the pre-match video that Walter is a good player, strong player, who just gets in there and he's a clever player. But he put them 3-0 up, and at that point, it was always like, why am I going to watch the second half?
Yeah, well, that's how I felt in the concourse on the East Stand, and very much a lot of people left at that point and didn't come back. And there was even people. There was a lady that next to me who'd left after 20 minutes. But that third goal was quite interesting because it felt like it was in almost slow motion. It was like it was like time stood still. I just couldn't get over the fact that they'd been netted 3 times in the first half against a defence that had really been tight up until now, with the exception of maybe the Spurs game. We've been tight in defensive positions for a long time. So to lose 3 at home in the first half was massively disappointing. And yeah, and that would have been a difficult team talk to be part of.
Yeah, they just seemed all over the shop defensively today. That I think the real lack of pace was exposed, but also just not clearing the lines, like poor clearances going straight back to Newcastle players on the edge of the box, and then a second phase. I mean, look at that second goal. Obviously, Pickford should have saved it, but I think Newcastle had about three times they like recycled it in that move before it dropped to the young midfielder. It's just not good enough, really. It's just not at the races defensively, and that you get punished for.
Be interesting to see what he can't really do an awful lot between now and Tuesday, but he might just have to say you need to make sure you're closing down those second balls, because that's where we had challenges. We had problems all over the park really, but particularly the second balls, closing down and being able to get our wide players to back up the fullbacks.
Yeah,
on the overloads. They looked so like they could walk through our team once they were in the final third.
it was like butter going through.
Yeah.
Knife through butter, really, when Newcastle got the ball. And that's why a lot in the first half, when Everton had 60% roughly possession for about.
Don't know whether I'm still live, that Basil has dropped out or not. But yeah, just obviously really challenging to react straight after the whistle after such a disappointing game. So yeah, if you are still there, Basil, maybe it's me, maybe it's the Basil, we will see. Yeah, it looks like it might have been a signal at his end. But yeah, obviously lots and lots of fans left the ground much earlier than me today. We stayed till pretty much the bitter end. And losing 4-1 at home is never a good result. The manner in which we lost it, probably on balance, I'm not going to be too upset about it. But yeah, one of these 4 goals at home. If we'd lost 2-1, you would have said, yeah, fair dues. But defensively, just very, very poor today. Didn't close them down, but you've got to give Newcastle some credit. Where do we go from here? Well, we've got a match on Tuesday night against Bournemouth. It's away from home, and it's a 7:30 kickoff. And it means that we are going to have very limited time to prepare for that game. both the Channel and Everton. So yeah, it's going to come round fast, which means we can do something about the pain of tonight, the difficulty in watching our side capitulate, especially in the first half, and then we'll also have another home game against Forest to try and build on the form that we've had in the last couple of games. But certainly very, very tough to take if you just joined us. Obviously, Follow Everton is with you post-match, as we always are. Probably not for very long because I'm in the back of a car in the dark, but yeah, glad to join and be part of the coverage. So there you have it. Everton going down today, 4-1. We are trying to get more people to join. Many of us are at the game or working, so bear with us and keep watching, keep telling everyone about Channel, because we need your support. Of course, it's always really difficult to come live after we've lost. So I'm going to slip out and now I'll see if.
Hello. I don't know if you can hear me. Please give me a message, and let me know, is Steve gone or did he just break up with the signal? Fortunately, my car's broke down, so someone's just arrived to fix it, so it's not great timing. So I'm gonna have to drop off in a second. Always going to come on to talk about second half. Oh, my brother's just said, yeah, Steve, he's finished. But I will just give my thoughts on the second half, because I think the only positive there obviously was the goal that we scored, and I really did think for a second that the Barry goal was going to count, and that was going to give a slight bit of positivity in an almost dismal display, but almost typically it was ruled out for handball. So yeah, the weight goes on for Barry to score. Dewsbury Hall's goal was excellent, I thought. Incredible touch and finish. And apart from that, shocking lack of energy. Game was over. Fans left. Not much to say. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to have a look at what's going on with the car outside, because this repair guy's waiting for me. I think on Sunday or Monday to in a ground that's quite tricky for us to get a result at. So, but thanks everyone for joining me, and